It is fascinating for us to think that the number of e-health applications has exponentially increased in recent years, with over 325,000 health apps now available in most of our app stores. This, in addition to other e-health applications available on our platforms such as personal computer, websites, and even gaming consoles. As with other digital applications, usability is one of the key factors in the successful implementation of any of these apps. I've come to learn that usability testing is one of the most valuable tools when it comes to developing great products and is the greatest thing, even though it isn't actually very easy. So what is a usability test? Simply, it's getting people get together to use a product and walk them through the process. This helps by getting real honest feedback because traditionally product owners make products that are internally focused and they may not see the big picture. Usability testing helps cut through those barriers and definitely aids in user acceptance. Usability, according to the International Organization for Standardization, a worldwide federation of national standard bodies, states usability is the extent to which a system, product, or service can be used by specified users to achieve specified goals with effectiveness, efficiency, and satisfaction in a specified context of use. This same definition is also held by the National Institute of Standards and Technology. The U.S. Department of Health and Human Services Food and Drug Administration has a similar definition of usability. They define usability as the characteristic of the user interface that establishes effectiveness, efficiency, ease of user learning, and user satisfaction. Before we proceed, I think it's important that we take a few minutes to talk about the difference between usability testing versus user testing. How many times have many of us gone through EHR Go Lives and actually tested the new software? So it's important to distinguish that during user testing usually is determined, do users need this app? Versus usability testing asks the central question, can users use this app? So even though this is a on-demand presentation, we would love to hear from you. Please simply scan this QR code and we have a short one-question survey where we'd love to hear from you about what usability features are important to you. If you use the Jacobs 10 usability heuristics as a model, think about, is help in documentation an important standard for you, or perhaps it's error prevention? Perhaps it depends on the system that you are using. Some of us love minimalist designs on systems and colors. Some of us need lots of colors. Many things to think about. But we'd love to hear from you. So why is usability important? Well, the government requires it. Meaningful Use Stage 2 requires vendors to document they followed user-centered design during development. Professional organizations endorse it, like the American Medical Informatics Association, the Healthcare Information Management Systems Society, have all published statements supporting the improvement of usability, as well as the Institute of Medicine has reviewed studies on health IT and patient safety, and the review links preventable patient injuries and clinician dissatisfaction to poor usability. Usability means it's useful. Usability is more than just a nice thing to have in an EHR. It should be mandated, as we've pointed out. How well the EHR or whatever healthcare system gets the job done is a primary component of usability. So we've defined what user testing is, and in general what usability testing is, but a more formal definition, as stated by the UT Health Houston School of Biomedical Informatics, usability testing is a refined methodology based on years of research in cognitive science, and it can identify issues central to usability, meaning learnability, efficiency, and user satisfaction. There are two types of usability research: qualitative usability testing and quantitative usability testing. Qualitative usability testing focuses on collecting insights, findings, anecdotes about how people use the product or service. Perhaps you sat through a focus group. Qualitative usability testing is best for discovering problems in the user experience. This form of usability testing is more common than quantitative usability testing. Quantitative usability testing focuses on collecting metrics that describe the user experience. Two of the metrics most commonly collected in quantitative usability testing are usually task success and time on task. Quantitative usability testing is best for collecting benchmarks, and we'll show you some further examples of the use of both of these. Some current usability evaluation techniques include questionnaires, task completion, think out loud, interviews, heuristic testing, and focus groups. As you can see from our comparative chart, advantages and disadvantages range. Most of the advantages include low cost. However, some of the disadvantages range from subjectivity to if the context could be lost. But all are valid techniques. There are several usability theories and models, but the four that we'll be focusing on today include the TURF, the Task User Representation and Function Usability Framework, as well as the System Usability Scale, or SUS, the Questionnaire for User Interaction Satisfaction, or the QUIZ, and Moderated Remote Usability Testing. The TURF framework originated here in Texas and is a framework for EHR usability. It is also a theory for describing, explaining, and predicting usability differences. It is also considered a method for defining and evaluating and measuring usability objectively. It has also been defined as a process for designing built-in good usability. The TURF defines usability as how useful, usable, and satisfying a system is for intended users to accomplish goals in the work domain by performing certain sequence of tasks, as you can see from the picture included in front of you. The TURF provides a set of measures for each of the useful, usable, and satisfying dimensions of usability. TURF stands for Task, User, Representation, and Function, which are the four components that determine the usability of an EHR system. These four components are described with theoretical descriptions along with examples of how usability is measured in several case studies, as you can see from the article listed in the slide. How TURF can be used to improve usability through redesign is also demonstrated. Some other things to think about when using this model is consistency in standards and design, visibility, the match between the system and the real world, minimalist design similar to Jacob's heuristics, minimize of memory load, informative feedback, flexibility, as well as the messaging. Are there good, clear error messages? Can it prevent user errors?